Guys, just a quick humble request. If you can, please hit the like button, share it with others, and also drop a comment below. I appreciate it. Thank you. Also, subscribe to my other channel, Crimecast, because in June, I'll be uploading there at least once a week on cases from yesteryear. All your suggestions are welcome. The link to that channel is in the description below. So in a world where criminal empires often operate from the shadows, Damon Greenslade chose to live like a rock star in plain sight. Flashing diamond-studded teeth, thick gold chains, and wads of banknotes in hand, he flooded social media with boastful displays of wealth and power. His boldness was almost cinematic, but it wasn't a movie. It was a multi-million-pound drug operation that, for over 3 years, saturated the quiet towns of Cheshire with coke, cannabis, MDMA, and THC-laced edibles. Greenslade was no low-level dealer. He was the self-styled kingpin of a sprawling and calculated enterprise known as the DMO line. His drug network was built like a corporation, with recruiters, distributors, couriers, middlemen, and even merchandise promoting the brand. What made it particularly chilling was not just its scale or profit, but how it exploited the most vulnerable, young people, often minors, who were coerced into pushing drugs on the streets of quiet English towns. From March 2020 to June 2023, the DMO line flourished, but as Greenslade flaunted his empire, police built a case behind the scenes. A dedicated operation named Operation Chekhov would eventually bring down an entire network. By the end, 13 people would face the courts. Their sentences would total over 46 years in prison. And Greenslade, once a brash face of the drug-fueled arrogance, would find himself behind bars for more than 16 years, contemplating a legacy defined not by power, but by disruption. So as we know, most dealers, they try to stay under the radar. Damon Greenslade did the opposite. He turned his criminal enterprise into a marketed brand, reminiscent of streetwear companies or social media influencers. The DMO line was no mere name, it was a statement. Greenslade had the brand name tattooed on his skin, along with a taunting phrase, "Can't stop, won't stop," a mantra that became both prophecy and his curse. The gang used encrypted messaging apps and social media platforms to advertise product drops and price cuts. In a bizarre twist, they even staged cannabis-themed treasure hunts where customers were invited to find free joints hidden around town, a stunt aimed at both marketing and generating buzz. Custom-made merchandise bearing the DMO logo was created, lighters, clothing, even phone cases. In the world Greenslade curated, drugs weren't contraband, they were a lifestyle. Behind the glamour, however, lay a brutal structure. Greenslade didn't act alone. His organization mirrored a corporate structure with tiered responsibilities and a network of trusted associates ensuring the continuous flow of narcotics into Congleton and the surrounding Cheshire towns. At the top sat Greenslade, the chief executive, the CEO, the boss. Supplying him with industrial-scale quantities of coke and cannabis were two key figures, Patrick Bruce and Daniel Greenslade, the latter believed to be a very close relative. They were the importers, responsible for acquiring bulk drugs from sources likely operating across county or even international lines. Below them, Greenslade, he's the general, he had his lieutenants, Lewis Charlesworth, Rhys Evans and Jason Acton, who oversaw various street dealing operations. These individuals ran small crews of local dealers and couriers. Kane Smith, Nathan Edge, Bradley Dale and Nathan Taylor worked the streets, distributing drugs hand to hand, delivering to customers and sometimes transporting cash and product between drop points. Tyler Meadows, a young woman from Congleton, acted as a logistical assistant, storing drugs and helping to arrange exchanges. Dylan Sweeney was one of the group's couriers, and Jed Sutton meanwhile operated as a broker and facilitator, linking suppliers like Bruce with Greenslade and ensuring the network's efficiency. It wasn't chaos, it was an organized criminal empire hidden in the everyday quiet of Cheshire. What elevated the DMO gang's menace from illegal to abhorrent was its calculated recruitment and manipulation of children. Greenslade. Detectives revealed deliberately targeted juveniles, young boys who could be drawn into the allure of money, status, protection, respect. To the untrained eye, they were just little kids with hoodies and e-scooters, but in reality, these guys were the foot soldiers of this drugs empire, transporting the drugs in backpacks, stashing coke in garden sheds and texting customers via burner phones. Greenslade kept them loyal through a cocktail of fear, rewards, and threats. When one young lead dealer stepped out of line, violence followed. If another got arrested, Greenslade swiftly replaced them. He viewed the youth not as people, but as assets, disposable cogs in a machine designed for his enrichment. Despite the flashy displays and inflated ego, Greenslade grew increasingly paranoid in 2021. Cheshire Police had begun to close in on his network following early arrests of his associates, including Rhys Evans and Kane Smith. In January 2021, Greenslade's home was raided, but he remained undeterred. Instead, he changed addresses frequently, reported sightings of police drones, and instructed others to communicate only through encrypted channels. Still, he refused to stop. As we remember, Can't Stop, Won't Stop is tattoo red, and for that time, that held true. But Operation Chekhov was relentless. By early 2022, police had compiled enough evidence to execute 4 simultaneous raids in Congleton and Macclesfield, targeting his key lieutenants. The smoking gun came during the search of Greenslade's bedroom, a mobile phone later confirmed as the graph phone used to control the DMO line. With this phone in hand, police were able to forensically link multiple associates, map out the drug network, and prepare for a full takedown. In June 2023, police launched a series of coordinated dawn raids across Cheshire and Greater Manchester. Dozens of officers stormed targeted addresses, arresting nearly every member of the gang in a single day. It was the culmination of years of evidence gathering, digital forensics, and surveillance. A few weeks later, on July 31st, Tyler Meadows was also arrested. She was the one that helped Greenslade move thousands of pounds worth of narcotics. By then, the DMO was silent, his kingpin in custody, his tattooed bravado stripped of power. So the sentencings were as follows. Damon Greenslade got 16 years and 4 months. He was the lead organiser. As we know, his role was the undisputed leader of the network. He ran the DMO drugs line, recruited juveniles, and orchestrated every level of the operation, from sourcing the drugs to overseeing day-to-day sales. As we know, he marketed narcotics on social media, flaunted cash and drugs online, and operated with blatant disregard. The judge noted Greenslade's deliberate manipulation of minors and his flagrant glorification of drug culture, and his sentence reflected his command position and the harm he inflicted, both directly and indirectly. Then you got Daniel Greenslade, got 10 years and 3 months. He was a senior supplier. Daniel was the key supplier to Damon, and he played a crucial role in sourcing large quantities of drugs. The court described his involvement as indispensable and motivated by profit at scale. While not the face of the operation, his logistical role made him central to its success. You had Rhys Evans, who got 7 years. He was the middle manager. He acted as a street-level manager. He coordinated distribution, controlled a number of street dealers, and was previously arrested in 2021 for drug supply offences. The judge took into account his persistent involvement after arrest, indicating a lack of remorse and sustained intent to profit from illegal trade. You got Jed Sutton, who got 6 years. Sutton bridged the gap between Patrick Bruce, a bulk supplier, and Damon Greenslade. He was also directly involved in supplying drugs to higher income areas such as Alderley Edge. In the judge's remarks, he said, the dual role as a facilitator and supplier earned him a stern sentence. The court highlighted Sutton's knowledge of the operation structure and his active effort to expand its reach into affluence areas. Lewis Charlesworth got 4 years and 6 months. He was a street operations coordinator. Charlesworth helped control street-level dealers, overseeing the day-to-day running of the drug drops, money collection, and recruitment. Judge said though younger than most in leadership, Charlesworth showed a worrying maturity in criminal responsibility. The court condemned his supervisory role over younger dealers. Yet Patrick Bruce got 3 years and 10 months. Bruce was charged with conspiracy to supply Class B. Judge said he was portrayed as a profit-driven enabler whose long-term involvement fueled the expansion of the gang's cannabis distribution network. Then you had a few others. Kane Smith, he got 16 months suspended for 18 months. The judge took into account his age, he was only 22, limited role and signs of rehabilitation. Again, Tyler Meadows got 21 months, suspended for 2 years. You got Jason Acton, 2 years, community order. Nathan Edge, 2 years, community order. Dylan Sweeney, 18 months, suspended for 18 months. Bradley Dell, a 12-month community order. Ethan Taylor, a 12-month community order. So the total prison time handed down across the network amounted to over 46 years. Detective Constable Sam Needham of Cheshire Police remarked, "This has been a lengthy and complex investigation into a group of people intent on bringing illegal substances into Cheshire. These individuals thought they could reap the benefits of their criminal activity, purchasing high-value items such as jewellery, vehicles and designer goods. But this case demonstrates that crime really does not pay." Greenslade's story deserves a stark reminder of the consequences of criminal activity. His rise to power, marked by exploitation and violence, ultimately led to his downfall. Now behind bars, he has ample time to reflect on the choices that led him from the heights of self-made empire to a prison cell. So guys, in the end, the same arrogance that fueled Damon Greenslade's empire became its undoing. His relentless pursuit of power, wealth and notoriety blinded him to the silent storm gathering behind him. A storm made of painstaking surveillance, forensic evidence, and a community fed up with fear. What began as a flashy drug line, complete with diamond teeth, social media stunts and branded paraphernalia, ended with shackles, steel doors and a 16-year prison sentence. For every post he made glorifying the trade, for every child he pulled into his orbit, justice responded with equal force. As they say, what goes around comes around. Now, the DMO brand is no longer a symbol of dominance but a cautionary tale. Its leader sits in the prison cell with the words "Can't stop, won't stop" forever inked on his skin, an ironic monument to the criminal ambition that was, in the end, very much stoppable. For the 12 others who followed him, the sentence is not just time served but the shattering of an illusion. That crime pays, that the streets are yours, that violence buys loyalty. It doesn't. It never did. And for those watching from the shadows, those who think they can rise where he fell, the message is clear. The system may take its time, but it always closes in. And when it does, it doesn't knock. It kicks the fucking door in. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.